All right, well, let's get to some politics. Republican candidate for governor Bill Schuette made his lieutenant governor pick. Lisa Posthumus Lyons is joining him on the campaign trail. And to give you some background, she's a former state rep, now serving as a Kent County clerk. And yes, you know the name Posthumus. Her father, Dick Posthumus, was lieutenant governor under John Engler and made his own bid for governor. Lyons is also a critic of President Trump. She polled her support of him in 2016 after his derogatory comments about women. And some people have picked up on that's a very interesting thing, given the fact that Bill Schuette likes to drop President Trump's name as President Trump supports me and endorses me pretty much every opportunity he gets. So, Nolan, I want you to give me some sense of how this pick is going over in Republican circles.
Well, think about it. I mean, the primary's over. We've moved into the general. Bill Schuette's got to broaden his appeal beyond just that Trump base. He ran to the Trump base during the primary because that's what you have to do in a primary. This is a pick that signals he's going to run broader. She's not only, she wasn't only against Trump in 2016. She's also a Snyder ally. Her dad's one of the governor's top aides. I see this as sort of a reaching out to those.
Governor Snyder, come on over
maybe
here.
Not Governor Snyder. I don't think he's ever coming, but the Snyder folks.
That wing of the.
So how powerful is the name? How powerful is the posthumous name?
I don't know. I mean, you remember he lost his election. I don't know that it's certainly very powerful in Western Michigan, and they've got to get the Republican vote out in Western Michigan. They're going to get Macomb County no matter no matter who it was. So we either had to pull somebody who could appeal and get out your vote in the Kent County area, Grand Rapids area, or in Oakland County. And, the pickings were slim over on this side of the state.
Was it a right call or a little puzzling for you, Stephen?
Well, I mean, I think it gives the opportunity for, Democrats and other critics of this ticket to make some hay about, you stood up to Donald Trump. You pushed back against the things that he said about women. How can you now be on a ticket with somebody who cannot bring himself to level any criticism at this president? And so there will be a lot of, I think, poking at the two of them, trying to get them to do that. I talked with the two of them on the radio this morning about this, and I tried to get Lisa to explain how she feels about the president. I asked her whether she voted for the president, for instance, and she didn't have great answers. She stumbled a lot. They got to polish. They got to fix that up, right?
Well, how does she explain how she feels about the president now? She says she supports him and his policies?
Right. She says it's all about policy, that he's doing things that she supports, that he's doing things that she thinks are helping the country, and that's all there is to it. What I tried to push her and say, well, that's separate, though, from these things that he says and the things that he does that aren't about policy but are about misogyny and racism and all these other things. She didn't really answer that question, and then Schuette jumped in on her behalf and said, well, this is about the future. We're trying to move Michigan
And this
forward.
pick is more than just about winning in November. Should Schuette win, he's picked someone who could really help him in the areas he needs help. I mean, she's an experienced lawmaker. She knows how to work with the legislature. She's very much in that regard, like Brian Kelly, someone he can send in to the House or the Senate and who speaks their language.
Who actually knows how to
and
get
who
things
knows
done.
how to navigate and get a piece of legislation through. That's essential.
Anything that she's done, though, in the House and working on the Education Committee that could come back to bite her in some certain way?
EAA is something that Dems are going to.
She wanted to keep expanding the EAA.
Yeah.
I mean, there are things that are going to hurt her with Democrats.
Yeah.
She's not going to get those votes anyway. So, I mean, I think
but they got to get some of those votes to win.
They don't have to get Democratic votes. They got to get Republicans and independents. And that will be what her job is to soothe that part of the party that is not on the Trump train. And she'll do that. It's Schuette's job to win the election. Yeah. He'll have to appeal to those independents.
I also wondered whether picking someone from Kent County signaled some weakness that they see in support for Schuette.
Because you would make the assumption that you would get Kent County, you would get the west side of Michigan anyway.
There should not be any issues with this ticket without Lisa Lyons in those areas. The fact that they picked her maybe signals that they're just a little worried about making sure that Republicans come out in the numbers that they need to offset this side of the state.
That's paramount for any candidate, particularly in this election. You can bet Gretchen Whitmer's going to go to Detroit because she senses
I would
weakness
think
in
so.
that ticket there. I mean, you.
But again, pushing the turnout, though.
You look to, and that will be part of her
Right.
issue.
Yeah.
And it's certainly part of Schuette's. You've got to get the voters out. I mean, he could have gone to Oakland County and maybe gotten, or Western Ray, and gotten Laura Cox. She didn't want to do it. She's got a safe sentence. He could have got Elaine Kowal. But I think he sees in Lisa Posthumus somebody younger, more dynamic, who can help him not just in Kent County, but perhaps with women voters throughout the state.
All right.